Hi everyone, this is Karen Lohop again, and the the most recent video that I actually did just a few hours ago, and I called it something like, "Would astral projection be of interest to you?" And I actually got messaged, which just thrilled me no end. Um, those of you who've been on the internet and been putting yourself out there and putting your material out there and not had anyone respond to you, I know that you know how I feel. It's such validation, and I thought that it was because I had this enticing name, but for whatever reason, I have I think I have yet to see one of my videos show up with the actual name that I put on it. What they do is they put the date and they leave it at that. So my thinking was, so somebody looked at the video not knowing what it would be about, and then found it intriguing enough as a subject to message me. And now I'm really itching to go. You'll all have to find that individual and stone them for getting me all riled up to share some more with you. But um, this is probably going to be something that many of you will want to sift yourselves out from the beginning, because what it is it's from Abraham Hicks, and I would guess you either know who they are, you either are interested in what they have to say, or you're not, or you're not interested in the kind of material, because if you were interested in the kind of material, you definitely would have found them in the interim. And of course, I can always be wrong. I often am wrong. I'm possibly always wrong, and you should never take anything that I say to heart. But I am definitely an Aber. I follow and listen to Abraham when I can. And it used to be that I would listen to 2 or 3 or 4 times a day, and then I realized I was really supposed to be working. And once I decided that, then it seemed like I hardly ever got to listen. But I saw this on my Facebook page today, and it's probably where I'm at in life that has caused me to take a look at it and want to share it with you. What if the contrast that you think you don't want is a gift of the vortex moving into your grid? You must find my eyes just don't stay anywhere that makes any sense. That's because I can't get used to the lens being probably half the face above my nose. And so I forget that that's where I'm supposed to look. So I apologize. My bad. Okay, back to what if the contrast. What does it mean by contrast? When you have things in your life which you'd rather not have, which you believe that you could live without, which seem to you kind of like, what is that fencing that has the kind of diamond crisscross? Uh, it's kind of like that, but it's tighter. It's a mesh. It's a mesh. This is, of course, my own interpretation. This isn't necessarily anyone else's on the planet. But it's like a mesh across your brain. It's like, I surely don't need that. So this obviously caught my attention. What if the contrast that you think you don't want is a gift of the vortex moving into your grid? Now, I don't know why these words have to be difficult. And maybe they're not for most people, but I hear a lot of people finding them very difficult. And I know that initially I thought a vortex, well, I've avoided sharing that before because it's just too entangled. But if you think about a vortex, kind of like a funnel cloud, except that it's intended to be positive, and it's intended to be a collection of all the things you've ever known you wanted. And all of that is being held there through your various moods, through your various circumstances, through all the different things that go on in your life. This is where those things are. And so we're talking about a gift of something that you would want, that you would select, moving into your grid. And what is your grid? Your grid is your experience, your field of experience. Many people might find, if they were to listen to you and find out all the abilities and talents that you have, all the good things that are going on for you and where you are in your life, they might see that as being all good. You know, you've got a good grid. For most of us, though, what we're looking at is we're looking at kind of the interspaces, the holes, the things that aren't filled in, the things that you look and look and look to because you want them filled in, and you know how you want them filled in, and they're not filled in like that. So what we're talking about is, rather than the contrast that you experience and have maybe all your life seen, that would be my case, as something that you could live without, would rather not have, let's look at it as possibly queued up from your good place of your vortex, where everything's stored that you do want, and it's moving now into your today. It's moving into what is going on today. So pause it again, question again, ask yourself again, what if it is the grid filling in with the next logical step? Given the whole of who you are and what you want, what if the contrast that you think you don't want is not something unwanted? And this I especially would love to buy into. That you're not being tested by it. And to sense that I'm being tested by anything in my life is very personal. It's very much, what is it? It's not, it's not me being wise. It's not me thinking well. It's me deciding the worst. It's me selecting out to see things in the worst possible light. So, if I could rid myself of that and not think of something as a test, but it's a piece of information, a piece of experience in order to help you formulate with greater clarity what you are wanting. Now, if you're watching a good spy show, if you're watching, or if you're, one of my favorite authors was Robert B. Parker, and if you were reading about him, coming across something that you didn't even think was a clue, that he realized could be a clue, and he was going to make it something to give him information. It was, in my mind, watching an artist at work. It was so fabulous. So, a piece of experience to help you formulate with greater clarity what you're wanting. Now, this is key. If you're wanting something, and you have it in your mind, and you talk about it and you think about it, and you sense that you have a feel for it, you want to get that more and more, and more and more and more, and more and more and more clear. The more clear that it is, the closer it is. It is you utilizing your subconscious and creating with it to the point that you have a dominant thought which you then must act upon, kind of like I have to do this video, and then it brings into reality. It manifests. It brings to life that which you want. So, since we already know, or it won't take but a moment or two for most of us to realize that we are expanding beings, that we are constantly hoarding things that we want, whether they be experiences or people that we don't see often enough in our lives, or some people see the most beautiful views outside their windows, or they step outdoors and they have such beauty. We know we're expanding beings. Since we are, don't you think it's time for you to embrace the contrast? I can tell I'm going to have to memorize this. And in so doing, don't you think it's time to embrace also your own worthiness and stop condemning yourself when you stand in a place that you or someone else has deemed not perfect? Isn't that a terrible habit? To be somewhere and deem ourselves unworthy because we believe that place that we're in is not perfect. Those things that you did not want were attracted by the best part of you. That's the piece we wanted to stick in here, we being Abraham Hicks. Because you keep thinking when contrast comes, it's an indication of something that you've done wrong, when it never is. It's an indication of something else that you are doing right on your continuing path of eternal evolution. You know, I just may have to start the next message because I just may. Thank you.